Welcome back, everybody, to Brony Plays Minecraft. Let's just clean this up real quick. Gravel, never mind that. I was doing a little bit of mucking around. That's okay. Got a couple more seeds to plant, and we also got some more cassiterite to smelt. So I figured now would be a good time to show how the bloomery works. Because you know what? I'm kind of tired of messing around. I'm tired of messing around with this fire pit. I want something to work here. I want metal. Yeah. Well, it starts by this. We put your filled ingot or your unfilled mold, whatever you're looking for, whatever you want to catch stuff in, you put it up here. And then you just climb to the top of your awesome, huge tower thing, and you just be like, alright, throwing it in. And then you also want to put some fuel in, because if you don't put any fuel, it's no good. So, let's go back down and check the levels. So put both of it in, and you just dump it in there. You just dump it right in, and you notice it comes up now. It says type. That's in there, cassiterite. It won't accept anything else but cassiterite now, and it won't smelt anything else. You can't smelt alloys directly, and you can't smelt more than one thing at once. It tells you how much ore is in there and how much coal, or well, charcoal, should say fuel, and then output. Now, if there's an ingot, if there's a mold in here, it'll automatically go straight into the mold. If, however, there's not one there, well, there we go. See, it went straight in there. If there's nothing there, then it'll output, and it'll wait for you to put something in. Now, it didn't melt everything, and the reason is, first of all, tin melts easily. That is nice. But it didn't melt everything because there wasn't enough coal in there, charcoal, whatever, to melt everything. There we go. So now we have a full ingot, and now we have a little bit of an output you can see there. So put this in here, and I'll take care of the rest of that output. Now I wasted a lot of charcoal because now I have extra stuff. I don't have anything to smelt. We could come over here and try smelting the copper if we really wanted to. But it's probably not going to smelt very well without the use of bellows. What are bellows? Well, bellows are things that help you bellow. No, I'm just kidding. Bellows are devices that increase the power of the, whatchamacallit there. They increase the power of a furnace, not furnace. Man, I'm terrible today. Well, whatever we're looking at, they increase the power of that. And they're really nice and really useful, and we need some leather to make them. So let's go see if we have any leather. They increase the temperature there, and we're going to need that if we want to actually smelt this copper, which is not super necessary. We have 5 leather. It's just enough, but we need some planks. Let's get some planks real quick. Come around back. Steal some sequoia, make some planks. La da da da. Dooby dooby doo. Oh wait. Yeah, we don't need that. There we go. Perfect. Okay, now we come over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Nope. Silly me. Other way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that gets us some bellows. We're going to take these bellows and we're going to put them right there. There we go. So, there's no coal in there. It's all burnt up. So let's just put the last of the charcoal in here. We're not going to get to melt all this copper. But we can put a bit more copper in there. Sure. Sure we can. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 in there. Ooh, I don't think it'll all melt, but we'll find out. So, to use the bellows, well, first of all, copper melts a little bit above this. It might melt here, but we want it to melt a little faster, so we have to hit it a little bit. And every time we hit, it raises the temperature up. You know, the temperature's going up now. Problem is, it also makes your charcoal burn fast. That kind of sucks. But that's what you got to do if you want copper to melt. So while we're waiting for that to work, because we're not going to see anything, we're going to check this. Oh, it's still liquid. Go ahead and put this one back so that we don't have our inventory cluttered. We obviously don't need all that copper, and we're not going to need this mold. But we are going to need this, the prospector's pick. Now, I know I've said a couple times now we need a saw before we really get started, but you know, I'd rather be a little dangerous and screw the saw we've got to pick, right? If we come over here, we're going to have to bellows again. And normally it does, and while it does make your coal burn faster, that's okay in this situation because we really need to get the temperature up there, and we need to keep it up there for the copper to melt. Notice we're actually just running through coal here, so we're not going to melt all the copper, definitely not. Even though we have a lot of ore in there, that's probably not going to fill up one mold. I'll betcha. We'll find out. Dooby-dooby-doo. Dooby-doo. And that's TF craft, folks. it's sitting there doing mundane tasks sometimes. We're looking at the tin also. Still a liquid. You can't, work with it while it's a liquid. But I work with tin in my class a lot, and there we go. There we go. Okay. And I can let that sit in there. It's not gonna, nothing will happen to it. Some of that ore might melt. I can hit this thing, but yeah, there's no fuel in there, so it's just gonna start falling back down. And you'd see the, not the animation, but the color, the glow, I should say, the glow level. This is still dark red. It's got to get down to faint red, and then it's got to get down to very hot. And as I said, I do work with tin sometimes in class. It's a very, very low melting metal. Not as low as gallium, sure, but very low that it melts and it doesn't glow. Zinc does the same thing, and I believe bismuth and lead might as well. Copper, however, glows before it melts. Aluminum supposedly doesn't, but well, aluminum's weird. It's got that oxide layer on it. Zinc is obnoxious because it melts at a much higher temperature than tin. Tin melts around 200 or 300 something. Zinc is much higher. So here it is. I think zinc's around 800. I'm probably talking degrees C as well, not talking Fahrenheit. So multiply that by like 1.5 to get Fahrenheit. That's not correct at all, but it's not exactly wrong. We're waiting for this to cool so that we can put it on here, and then we can get a prospector's pick, because that way we will be ready to go. Ready to go do stuff. Plus, while we wait for it to cool, I'll go check the sluices and toss some more gravel in. Got a little bit more copper on that one. Good. We do need copper, even if it's not what I really wanted from there. I was hoping for something like sphalerite or more cassiterite, but we definitely do need copper. Some people might argue that copper is the most important metal in TF craft, or in technological advance, and they have a point. There's an argument there, but tin is just as important, especially for advancement. It's not just as important for TF craft, but it is pretty important for regular technological advancement. In TF craft, you need copper first, and then you need to make bronze, and then you can start working with irons and steels. But bronze is made with tin, so you need that, and tin is what you can make. Here we go. We can make tools out of tin. We can't make tools out of copper. Just gonna whack it a couple times. At least we can, but not right away. We have to get a copper anvil before we can make tools out of copper. Okay, so here we are. We have bend, draw, and punch. The thing about TF craft, though, is that well, there we go. Pretty close. The thing about TF craft is that not all bronzes take tin. There are two types of bronze. Well, there's at least one type of bronze, but I think there's two. I think there are two types of bronzes that don't take tin, and one type of there's rose gold that doesn't take any tin. But all of that's, it still requires copper. All of it requires copper, and that's why some people might say copper is the most important, because you need copper for advancement, whereas you can kind of get away without using tin if you are lucky enough to find gold and silver. That's what you need to have if you want to get away without using tin. Most people don't get. I didn't even notice that. That was rock salt. It's kind of nifty. Maybe I'll make bricks out of that. That's kind of neat. I don't know. Just thinking. Yeah. Dirt, planks. Okay, let's go take a look at. Oh, right, that. Let's go take a look at what my new pick and do. Spoilers, it does not actually pick anything. It's also night out, so let's go to bed. La di da di da. La da da da. La da da da. We'll come over here and say goodbye to our fire pit. Because now that we have a bloomery, we're probably not going to need the fire pit for very much, especially once we build a forge. We're going to build a forge right over here in this area, and I don't know, we might move the banana tree. We might have to get rid of the banana tree. But let's start using our picks, shall we? So here's how the prospector's pick works. Here's what it, I mean, I've kind of like said, oh yeah, we need one of those, but I haven't really explained what it is. If you come over here, it's like a dividing rod. If you're familiar with the Technic pack, it's like a dividing rod or an ore scanner. You click on a rock, and it says, oh, there's nothing here. And what it's doing is it's checking an area 25 by 25 by 25 centered around this block. So if I were to stand here and dig 25 in that direction, 25 in that direction, sorry, 12 in that direction, 12 in that direction, 12 that way, 12 that way, 12 down, and 12 up, there would be nothing, no ores in the immediate vicinity of this rock. Thing is, the prospector's pick is not always accurate. For example, I just come down a little bit, and boom, a very large sample of native copper down there, which is something that we will need. So checking up some other ones, it agrees that there is native copper in the area. If I come over here, nothing there, nothing there, and I'm just clogging up, nothing there. So I can probably assume that wherever this is, it's down. And since nothing up here is showing down, it's at least 12 down from this block right here, from this layer. So it's like 12 down from this layer. And it could be in any direction, 12 that way, 12 that way, 12 that way, and 12 that way. But it's at least 12 down, and it won't be any more than 12, but it's going to be at least, I mean, well, at most 12. I shouldn't say at least. Why am I saying that? I'm doing terrible. So we're just going to start picking. Picking and picking and picking and picking and picking and so much picking. Lots and lots of picking of blocks. La-di-da-da-da-da picking. And that's pretty much how it goes. Now, some things you might want to do to help you figure out where this stuff is. So, you know, you come down, it says there's a large sample of native copper down there. Nothing, nothing. Now, if it's coming up, think about this. It's coming up with this 12 by 12 by 12 scale. If it really was coming up with a scale that big, and actually it's 25 by 25 by 25, I'm just going to get it cubed. It's 25 cubed. It's searching that area. And if it really is searching something that big, shouldn't it, you know, find something in every square? Well, the answer is yes, it should, but that doesn't mean it does. The pick returns false negatives a lot. And that's a false negative where it says it's a negative result when it really is a positive result. Move that torch. And we continue digging. How will we know when we get there? I hear me ask, because I don't hear any of you ask. Might have asked. I don't know, I just can't hear it. Well, we'll know we get there. Actually, I want this one. How will we know? Well, we'll know because it'll look different. It'll be orangey and stripy. Remember how the clay looked? Yeah, it'll look something like that, only be very orangey. Let's keep digging here. Now, we are at risk of a cave-in because we're not using any supports, but I figure, hey, let's just live dangerously. Once we find this copper, we can start building other stuff with it. Well, we probably can't build any tools with it, but at least we'll have more copper around. So, looking all the way around, there's definitely a very large sample of native copper somewhere around here. Somewhere. I want to keep going down, but I think I'm going to just dig straight down at this point. Well, not like straight down. But I'm only going to dig 1 instead of 3, and that should speed things up a little bit. Now, since the possibility of cave-ins exists. Some of you might be asking, well, Litmus, do caves actually exist? Minecraft is full of caves normally, and that's where you find a lot of resources. You don't have to mine for them as much. You can just walk in and take them. And the answer is yes, caves do exist in TerraFirma craft. They seem to be a little harder to find, and especially the entrances. They're closer to what you might expect out of a real cave, in that many of them are just small holes in the ground that expand once you get under there. Also, they have real features of a cave, such as stalactites and stalagmites. And I know I should really be showing you guys this instead of talking about it, but despite saying that real caves do exist, I've yet to actually find any here. Okay, so we started from like this block right here, which said there's a very... oh, that's only traces. There we go. So there's a very large sample here. So we want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Next square will be 10. Okay, so there's 10. Get a little bit farther before we're at 2. I think that was either a glitch or a cave, and I think it's more of a glitch. Okay, 11, and here we go, this is 12. If we don't find anything here, then, well, then what? It's a big question. There we go. Okay, so this is 12. So when that one pick from way up there reached all the way down here. And we're also, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So yeah, it reached right down there. We picked this spot. So we went 12 down and 12 out and didn't find anything. So, well, what's that mean? Well, it means that if we come down here and we pick down here, we're going to check to see if it really is in this area. And it is. It is down here somewhere. We're just still not sure where. What we should really do is we should go over to one of the corners of this giant 25 cubed cube. And picking there, if we pick around in the corners and it says that there is copper, then we know that somewhere copper is down in this quadrant. 8 octant. That's it. Somewhere in this octant. If there's nothing over there, then we know it's in this octant. And of course, actually that's not true. It might be in this octant, but it most likely is because we found it on this side. So it should either be in that octant or that octant. Again, we are running the risk of a cave-in, but that's the way things go. We don't have a saw yet. Too bad we're not finding cassiterite. But hey, copper is just as important, as we said earlier. We can't make any tools out of it yet, but we will be able to make something. Let's see. Where are we at the moment? We are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 8, so close, 9, 10, oh, look at this, 11, here it is, we found it, yes, huzzah, oh, yay, woo, dancing pony, oh yeah, this, oh, whoa, yeah, woo, alright, that sounded so fake of it. It's like, oh, yay, we found it, woohoo! No, I actually am excited because we're running on video length here, and I'm like, well, guys, I guess we'll find out next time if we actually find the copper. But it turns out we have. This is the copper right here, and as like I said, as I promised you, it definitely looks different. You can tell this is copper, unless of course this is not copper, in which case that would be very odd. Oh no, okay, it is. Now, this is the full ore of copper. It's not like little tiny bits of copper, small copper that we had earlier. This is full native copper. It's larger, it's heavy, medium, and it only stacks up to 8. But that's okay, since it gives us a lot more. The small copper nuggets that we get, the native copper nuggets, those only give us 1/4 of one of these ore blocks. So, think about that. We can stack twice as many of them. So that means 1 full stack of copper nuggets gives us half of 1 stack of copper. Or, looking at another way, 1 stack of copper gives us at least twice as much as 1 stack of the copper nuggets. Now, it's really good that we found this at the top here, because this way we can dig down, and if we cause a cave-in, all that'll happen is that the rocks here will fall onto the copper, and the copper will be relatively okay. If we were digging at the bottom, then we'd be in trouble because we'd be digging upwards, and it'd be like rocks in the bottom trying to get up and be like, oh my god, what's going on? And then all the copper would fall and we'd lose it, and everyone would be very, very sad. So what do we need this copper for? Well, the goal here is to make an anvil out of it, a copper anvil. We'll need 14 copper ingots, but they need to be turned into double ingots, and to do that we need a metal hammer. We're going to need a metal hammer, which means just because we found this doesn't mean we're out of the water yet. We have to still find some tin. Nonetheless, I'm going to keep collecting this, and it should be pretty darn nice. We'll get a lot of copper. This stuff smelts for like crazy amounts, but of course we can't smelt anything yet. I know, it's true. Every time I say like, yeah, we're going to do this, but we can't do that, but we can't do that. So here's what we got. Okay, I've got. Oh, I want 2 more. I want 2 more, and then next time. Okay, next time we are going to come back. No, we're not. Next time we're not going to come back at all. Ooh, it's dark out. Yeah, this is a good time to stop. Next time we're going to start building a charcoal pile, because we need a lot more charcoal than what we have now. Like a massive amount more. Huge amount more. We're going to start building a charcoal pile, and we're also going to start smelting this copper, because everyone wants to smelt copper. It's like, oh yeah, I'm smelting copper. Oh yeah, look at me. Aren't I badass? Mm-hmm. You wish. Yeah, yeah. Look at that. Size difference. Oh yeah. What's big? So yes. Next time we need to work on a charcoal pile. We also need to find cassiterite for our hammer, so that we can get a metal hammer and we can use that to weld together a copper anvil something. And in the meantime, we've got this cute little. Oh, you know, I need torches. This is actually what that's used for. So that's for next time. We'll show little bits of it here and there, especially the final stages of the charcoal pile, and I want to also build the forge, and that's probably not next episode, but it is coming up in the future. So until then, every pony, thanks for watching, and keep on trotting.